Hello again. So guess what? It's time to strain the fruit and return the liquid back to the jar in the vinegar making process. So this is my apple cider. I've already done a couple jars because it does take a few minutes. So bear with me while we go through this process. So of course I'm going to remove the top. This is the apple cider. Here's what it looks like inside the jar right now. Okay, so we got the apples in there doing their thing. So the way I've been doing this, because I don't really have too much of a clue, so I'm kind of winging it. So I'm just emptying the liquid into the jar or into this container. And it looks like the fruit doesn't want to go. There it goes. Give it a little encouragement to get on out of there. Actually, I'm not going to worry about that too much because I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the jar to compost it. And then this way we'll have most of the liquid. You can see the lovely color that it is. So of course there's still some fruit in there. So I'm going to take the strainer again. I'm putting this in the middle of this bowl in case I miss terribly. And then I'm going to strain it back through this fine mesh strainer. Make sure there are no bits of fruit left in there and it's just the liquid going back into the jar. So, of course, once it's gone through the process, I can see that it doesn't yield quite as much as it did when I started, but of course the fruit has absorbed all that water. But it's still, I'm still looking at about 3/4 full. So that's good. All right, so this is the apples. I used a variety of apples, by the way. I used a couple of Honeycrisp. I used a couple of Gala apples. I used a Granny Smith, and I used a Red Delicious. So there's a couple different apple varieties in here, but you can see what that fruit looks like now. And I imagine if you taste it, it would have an alcoholic taste to it, if you were so inclined. All right, so we're putting all that into the compost. And then we have, whoops, there is a piece of apple that snuck in there. So you know what? I'm going to strain it one more time. Just to be sure, since we want this to just be the liquid and none of the fruit. And of course I'm missing because no coordination. I have no coordination. It's patience. You can see that really pretty color that it is right now. All the different apple varieties that were in there. Getting rid of the rest of that. And then I will go ahead and strain the liquid that's in this bowl back into the jar. Alright, so now here's what it looks like inside the jar. Just this lovely apple cider, apple color, very light. It's got some nice pink tinge to it. And this I have saved. This is the contains the mother from the other vinegars, from the strawberry raspberry and the strawberry cherry. So I'm going to keep some of that, and then the next time I make it, I will put some of this into each of the jars. And then that will, again, jumpstart that vinegar process. Smells like wine, so the acetic acid has formed. Keep cutting my own head off here. So the acetic acid has formed, and it is now, I guess it is kind of a wine right now, and it's going to continue that fermentation process and turn into vinegar. So lost my rubber band. I have rubber band issues, you guys. Here it is. So I'm putting a fresh piece of cheesecloth on and sealing it back up. It's tight. And then I'm going to return these jars back to their cabinet for another probably 2 to 3 weeks, because this actually, I was actually going to wait 3 more days before I did this, but the smell hasn't changed and it still has that wine smell to it. So I figure it's got to be ready for me to go to the next process. So instead of stirring, I just decided to go ahead and strain and then return the liquid to the jar, and then we'll go 3 more weeks, and then hopefully we'll have vinegar. So again, this is about to here liquid-wise, and I filled it 3/4 of the way with fruit to start with, 4 cups of water, and then I topped this and filtered water, and I topped it off so that all the fruit was as covered as it could get, and then of course coming in every few days to stir it to make sure the fruit stays under the water so it doesn't mold. So that's my 3rd jar. This is my last one. I'm just going to show you really quickly what this looks like. This is the apple strawberry. So again, here's what we've got looking like the top of the bottle, and all the fruit has been absorbed, so I don't want it to sit in here much longer anyway. Let's just see what this color looks like really quickly. And it's a nice, beautiful, like blush kind of color. Just gorgeous, and you can't see it. Here it is. Whoa, don't like drop it. Do it yourself, guys. It's great. All right, so this is it. And I'm not going to have you watch this whole process again, but you get the idea. And there's that beautiful strawberry apple vinegar, which again, I'm going to go through the straining process and return it back to the jar. So I'll check back with you guys in probably a couple of weeks, and we'll take a look and have a smell and see where we are in the process. Hopefully a couple more weeks and we'll be ready to go. All right. Fun. Happy do-it-yourselfing. Bye.